There was this incident that happened around me. One of my friend had some connection in the politics, so he got the government contract to put billboards on the side of the road. And he was telling that the total costing of their work was 5 million, but the invoice which is generated was 30 million. 30 million. So the work he did, the total costing of that work was just 5 millions. But the invoice which was generated, the money which was taken from the government was 30 million. So this is just a really small example of what happens in my country and hopefully in other countries too, where you have the inflated contracts is a really common form of corruption found globally. Inflated forms of contracts. So, and people justify this. People justify this because the politician who gave the contract, he wants money. The government officials who were involved, they are to be bribed. Everyone who is in the chain is to be bribed. The person who will release the money from the government treasury, they will also receive a commission from that contract. So that work that could have been done in just 5 million was done in 30 million. And who paid for this? The normal people did. That money was taxpayers' money, which was taken from the taxpayers for the benefit of people, of society, of the country, of the citizens. But what ends up actually having is majority of the taxes go into private pockets or luxury projects, and that's one of, I guess, the biggest reason why people don't pay taxes, because they don't trust their governments. They don't trust their governments. They have this thing in mind that this money which is being taken from me will be abused. And I'm sure if people gain this trust that whatever money they are being taken, that is being taken from them, it will be used in benefit of the society. I'm pretty sure that people will give the double money of what they are giving right now. But people don't trust their governments. So why am I talking about this thing? The purpose of this video was to explain a principle which Allah gave us in the Quran, where He says, in Surah Baqarah, in one ayah, He says, and people ask you about wine and gambling. So tell them, I'm paraphrasing right now. So tell them that in them, in wine and in gambling, there are some benefits, but the harm is greater, but the sin is greater. So from this ayah, a principle was established. If whatever you are doing, if that is profitable, but the harm is greater than the benefit, you shouldn't be doing that. If the whatever you are doing, if the harm of that thing, the bad side of that thing, the evil of that thing is greater then the good. You shouldn't be doing that. And there are so many examples I could give from a personal life to the world. There's so many things I could say. But I'll try to make this video as relatable as possible. See, one of the most common form of corruption, the inflated contracts, which I was talking to you about. The people who have the connection with the politicians, this money which was taken from the people in the name of benefiting the society, in the name of the construction of infrastructure, agriculture, education, healthcare, and all sort of things. Where is this money going? The people who have connections with the politicians, they get the government contracts. They almost multiply the actual costing of the prod actual costing of the contract times 10, or if not times 10, times 5. They inflate the contract. So the work which was being done in 5 million is now getting done in 30 million, while the quality of the work remains under 5 million only. But the money which is being taken from the government, the taxpayers' money, your money, is 30 million for the job which was done only for 5 millions. Who is incurring the loss? Who is incurring the loss? The normal people are. They don't get to get a good agriculture industry, education sector, healthcare, a better infrastructure, a better life. Why? Because there is no money left. While we people go around the city and there are roads broken, there's no proper infrastructure, at least in the city I am living in, and things are working like that. If you go to the government schools, the condition of the schools are horrible. If you go to the government hospitals, they're not horrible. Let me tell you an example. I was having a conversation with one of my friend who was working in a hospital only. He is working in the city center. He's working in the city center. He was given the duty to audit some hospitals which are far in the village area, government hospitals. So he went over there and he told me the condition of the hospital. What do they call a hospital over there? It's a 2-room hospital, kind of a clinic, and the people who are sitting over there are not doctors. They are nurses who are given 6-month training, and these nurses are writing the medicine for the sick people in those village area. That's the condition of the government hospital. Government hospital. Nurses are writing the medicine, and this is the official position of this. All of this is happening officially. Why are there no better hospitals? Because most of the money is going into private pockets and luxury projects. I was given the information of multi-million dollar project that was happening in my city only. There was a flyover being constructed, and it took a great sum of money. people's money, of course. So when it was constructed, after the opening of that flyover, within 10 days, the road of that flyover, the road of that bridge or flyover collapsed within 10 days. That's the quality of a flyover. By whose money did you build that? By people's money, by the taxpayers' money. And of course, if there is so much corruption in putting billboards on the side of the road, then this multi-million, if not billion-dollar project, of course there would be a corruption. The actual costing would be I don't know, 500 million, and the invoice would have been generated approximately 2 billion. So there is profit in this kind of work. There is profit, but the loss is much, much greater. And this is what Allah prohibits us from. That Allah gives the example. There were a few companions who came to the Prophet ﷺ, asking him ﷺ about wine and gambling, because wine and gambling was the part of life during the time of a Prophet ﷺ in the Arab world. They used to drink wine like water. So Allah says, Allah established, Allah gave this command that the benefit in this wine and gambling is there are some benefit, but the harm which is getting caused by these things is much, much greater. The sin is much greater. Hence, that the principle was established, you shouldn't be doing things which are causing harm to society. And even if there is some good and some good and bad, then you evaluate. If the harm is greater, you shouldn't be doing that. Now, and I'm not an expert, of course. You should ask some expert, some mufti or some maulana, expert, real people about this thing, that whether these things to a small extent are even allowed or not. But the principle is, even if there is benefit, some benefit, but the harm is greater, you shouldn't be doing that. There are so many investments we make, there are so many things happening around the world, which hopefully I will be discussing in further videos, inshallah. But this video was to explain about the principle. And the principle is, you shouldn't be doing things which cause harm. Yeah, that is called that thing is profitable. That thing is good for business. It's good for economics. People are earning money, but the harm which is being caused by that thing to the greater society is much, much bigger. So neither I should be doing that, nor should you be doing that. Not even letting it happening. Try your best. If someone in your family is involved in such kind of activity, stop them. And they would give their justification. Oh, this is how things work over here. Oh, you are eating the food from that thing only, that inflated contracted money only. How you are saying that I should stop it? What should I do? There will be things said to you. It's always it always takes courage to stand for justice. It always does. And justice may come with pain. It always does. So be prepared.